Good afternoon, or sorry, good morning everyone, and here we are again. It's Friday, and that means it's only one thing, and that is the People's Portfolio. I think we're on episode 5 now. It's absolutely flying, guys, and I look forward to this day every week to have a look at the suggestions and really dig through them and see what's going on with what you guys are putting forward to us, okay? Starting off on the page today, we're having a look at the footy. We are right on the cusp of 100,000. If you checked out the official Football Index podcast on YouTube, the head guy, Mike Bowen, said that they're going to do some sort of thing when we get to 100,000. So they'll expect an announcement forthcoming when that happens from them. But the market's growing from strength to strength to strength, guys, and it's a great time to be buying certain positions and setting yourself up for the season ahead. And again, Tom, another tip that's something that we've discussed on the channel recently. I'm beginning to think he watches some of these videos. If you do, Tom, thanks for tuning in, son. Going to give us a plug. Okay, guys, and let's just get, honestly, some of the suggestions today, guys, are absolutely stellar. Let's just jump right into it, okay? The first player that was suggested to us is our boy here, Luis Suarez, okay? And the comment that came along with him was, surely he's a bit of a bargain at 73 pence, okay? Now, by and large, that statement is pretty much correct. You expect the guy to play a lot of Champions League football. He's going to score lots of goals in the league, we know that. And at 73 pence, if he's winning, treble match day dividends on top of scoring a couple of hat-tricks and a couple of doubles here and there, the guy's definitely got div potential in him. There's no two ways about that. The thing that goes against him, of course, is his age and the unlikely scenario of him leaving Barcelona for a bigger team. It's pretty much that's him at pinnacle now, and the next move he makes after this is only going to be to a slightly lesser situation. And with it being South American, his next move could be Japan, it could be America, it could be China, it could be anywhere really. But yeah, Luis Suarez, great price now, 73 pence. We have a look at his stats last season. He's currently playing Copa America football, 2 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. He's on it. And again, if he gets a lot of headlines and does well, you might even get a wee bit of media buzz out of him. If he continues to blow the competition away and maybe they go and win it, who knows. In the World Cup he did pretty well, and then in the league, which is the bread and butter, as you can see there, 31 starts, 21 goals, 6 assists, and at the age of 31, 32, phenomenal return at the highest level possible. Champions League, 1 goal against Liverpool in 10 games, 3 assists. But again, having a player in your portfolio that is almost certainly guaranteed to be playing something like 10 Champions League matches, 8, 12, that kind of level, is something that's always going to hold a certain value as the season progresses on, and that becomes more and more valuable. The next boy we come to is João Cancelo. Okay, now this is a personal favourite of mine. He's somebody who I've been buying and selling little bits of for the most part of my Football Index journey. He's somebody who I first discovered playing FIFA 2 seasons ago. He was at Inter Milan and he was like the best gold right back I could find for my Italian team, and I just loved the guy. I thought he was brilliant. Didn't even have an inform or anything, and then when I joined Football Index I was like, I need to find this guy because I know he's quality. And he then transferred to Juventus and whatever else as well. He's doing really well for Portugal, and he's had a really good season in Italy. As you'll see, 22 starts for the Serie A champions, 8 in a row, 1 goal, 3 assists. Isn't terribly great, but for his age and stepping up into that level. And Juventus, even though they won the league, they weren't really great this season. Ronaldo especially, Dybala. They weren't the Juventus. It's not the best season they've ever had. And this guy under Sarri, or if he transfers, he's definitely got the bread and butter, or the core elements to be a successful player for whoever he plays for next season. Champions League, really solid stats: 5 starts, 2 off the bench, 2 assists. Tackles per game really high, dribbles per game really high, and in Nations League he's a regular for Portugal as well, so he's got extra. And then when you have a wee look at what's going on, it was Man U, Man City for a long time, and now just seems to be Man City are going for him. And if he does make that move, Kyle Walker's just signed a new deal. I think that's on this page. No, it's not. So right back is going to be very competitive for Man City next season if they go and get João Cancelo in the mix. And I think this guy could be a revelation in the Premier League because he's like Wan-Bissaka. He's a big guy. He's not a little diminutive, if I can say that word, wing back kind of thing. He's a big unit of a defender. He's really strong and really tall. The next player we come on to talking about Man City is a name some of you might not have seen before, and that's Felipe Sandler. Okay, so they bought this boy from Pek Zwolle And if you're a traditional gambler, you know, Pek Zwolle are pretty much the banker team in Holland for having over 4.5 goals most weeks. You know, they're just a really active team. And even though they had a rotten defence, this guy get picked up from there to Man City. And I think they see some potential in this guy for the future at centre half. I originally bought him not long after IPO because I thought he was a left back. I don't know what led me to believe that. And I thought I think Zinchenko got suspended or something like this, and Mendy was obviously injured. I thought this guy could maybe make a game or two. And that's that big candlestick you see right after IPO, because I think, I don't know why, but it wasn't me that caused that. You know, maybe other people thought he was a left back too, but he's a centre back. And then if you go and Google him and you have a look at the news articles, it's just, you know, bits and pieces. Made his debut against Rotherham and different bobs. But I thought this was probably the most interesting article, okay? So you can read it for yourself, okay? You can pause the screen right now, have a read at it. But yeah, really good words to hear from Pep. The next guy we come to is Borja Mayoral, okay? Now, this is a name that kind of looked familiar to me until I realised he plays for Levante, and I thought, do I recognise this guy or not? I think it's a guy with a similar name that plays midfield for somebody in Spain. He's maybe in his mid-20s, but no, I had no idea who this guy was. His stats were decent enough, you know what I mean? 16 starts, 3 goals, 2 assists. It's okay, a lot off the bench. He is a Spain under-21 international, which always bodes in your favour on the index if you're playing youth international football. And I didn't know either, but he's actually a Real Madrid player, you know, so that it really strikes of deja vu with like Mariano Diaz. You know, if this guy was to leave you know, Real Madrid, and it says they're Milan, and there's not really much concrete Sociedad, and you know, but if he goes and he has a stellar season for somebody on the evidence of what he did for Levante, I don't know, I just don't know how likely that is, but at his price now, he's definitely got room for improvement. If he gets the right club and has a good start to the season, there's definitely no two ways about it. You know, the guy must have potential to go on and kick on, you know. The next guy we come to is a name we'll all be aware of. It's Andy Robertson. And the kind of note that came along with this was just, and this is a good tack to use, a good tactic. When you price compare him against other people who perform at a similar level, he's very cheap. Okay, so if you compare him to Trent, to Kimmich, to even Van Dijk and these kind of guys, he's very, very cheap for a top end defender. His stats, he got, hay fever just kicked in on me there, wow. Oh Jesus. So 36 starts in the league, 11 assists, tackles per game, super high. Champions League 12 games, 2 assists, and his stats translate all the way through. He scored a goal for Scotland in the Euro qualifiers the other night, so that was probably his only goal of the season based on what I can see here. But the guy has a goal in him now and again, and assists and crossing, and being a team player, the guy has that in abundance. And if he continues on the way he has done the last season and a half, 2 seasons, you can see his price catching up to these top end defenders. It's just a matter of time, really, in that respect. And again, I went to just see what news articles were on him, and I found this weird Junior Firpo. You know, I don't see Liverpool spending 50 million quid on a backup if that's his buyout clause, but if it's even getting touted, maybe the guy is worth a look. And we went and looked at him. He's at 90 pence now. He's on a bit of a spike from 86, 84 pence off the back of this news breaking this morning. So feel free to go have a look at Junior Firpo for your own portfolio. He might be somebody you're interested in. The next guy we come to again is our name you're probably familiar with, and that is Rodrigo Bentancur. Okay, now he's been on a great rise, especially since Sarri got announced as manager. And what you've got to think about with situations like this is, really, you know, any team, a new manager coming in, and that manager has a very distinctive way of playing, you know. And Sarri, we can discuss what he does, and you could look at any team if Klopp was to join a club, or if Guardiola, you know, Pellegrini, you know, any of these managers who have a distinct style, Brendan Rodgers, you know, whoever, then you've got to think about the personnel already at the club and how will that benefit them positively or negatively. And Bentancur has got a lot of promise about him, and a lot of people hold faith in him that he's going to turn good and he's going to be a world-class midfielder. I've not really seen him play much more than maybe 3 or 4 times, including for Uruguay and Juventus, you know, so I couldn't really pass comment. He's not really struck me as somebody who looks stellar, you know, the few occasions I've seen him. We look at his stats: 21 starts, 10 off the bench, 2 goals, 3 assists is okay, I suppose. Tackles per game isn't as high as I'd want it to be if he's not a goal scoring, you know, midfielder. If he's somebody who you're relying on him for defensive and passing Also, we've not got passing stats here, of course, unfortunately, but you'd think that'd kind of translate into things like assists to some extent, you know. And then we look at his characteristics, so passing, tackling, concentration, ball interception, blocking the ball. Sounds like the sort of job that he had like Kovacic and like Barkley doing at Chelsea. Could he fit into that system? I suppose he could. But it's yet to be seen. Good potential, and he's just signed a new deal, he's not leaving, whatever. Bentancur. The next guy we come to, I was tempted, and I thought I can't do a disservice to the people. I was tempted not to cover Quagliarella, to be honest with you, just because of his age. But at 40 pence, at the age of 36, 37, he's got a limited shelf life, let's say, okay? So last season he scored 26 goals and made 8 assists in 37 games. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the best season of his career. He won the Golden Boot, and he's kind of been linked with Napoli. He's probably going to stay with Sampdoria. And, you know, for 40 pence, guys, see if he scores 10 goals this season. You know what I mean? That would be you getting back 10 pence on 40 pence, plus he maybe raising price even up to the 50 pence mark. You know, it is an investment that could turn, but there's very narrow parameters for success because he's so limited by age, and you know, especially at his age, he could be so vulnerable to picking up an injury and just being a write-off. So tread carefully, but could quite easily be an easy payday as well. It's one of those knife edge ones. And then we come to, this is probably the one that really caught me the most, and that was Pedro Reboccio, okay? Had no idea who he was. I seen he plays for Greencamp, they've also been relegated. And when you look at his graph, you're like, okay, the guy's, you know, quite stable. You know, he's not he's had a big shoot up there from, like, let's call it 30 pence to 40 pence, right? But since then, since what, the end of April, he's been very stable between that 37 to 42 pence mark, 41 pence mark, so quite solid. We're diving a bit deeper, and this is where I was really shocked. 36 starts, 8 assists for the bottom team in the league, you know, and there's an article, I don't know if I grabbed it, but he was in the top 10 assists in the league, you know, so that is very credible, and somebody who I would certainly want to be keeping an eye on. Stats for tackles are good enough if he's an attacking fullback. Crossing, key passing, concentration, blocking the ball. Weaknesses is actually defending, you know, doing the tackles. Doesn't dive in, likes to stand, and he likes to cross, you know. But at 24, and he's a Benfica youth product, you know. So again, we've been speaking quite a lot recently about pedigree. I don't know if you know much about Benfica. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, right? But Benfica's academy is like a boarding school, right? Is the long and short of it. And if you see, there's a great documentary BBC done, and I know the SFA took the pro licensed guys last year to the Benfica's academy, and it's like there's a wall in there, and it's like all the headshots of all the players have sold for mega money, like your Di Marias and David Luiz's and João Felipe will be up there now, you know, João Felix, sorry, I beg your pardon. So this guy comes from an academy similar to Ajax in a lot of ways, where it's, you know, they move in there when they're like 10 or something like that, and they don't leave until they're sold. And they're just drilled on how to play football, you know, and so the guy's got pedigree, to say the least. And you can see the links there, you know, they're quite loose, available for 5 million. He's on radars and whatever. AVB fancies him. You can pause the screen and have a look at this, but this is a very interesting little bit of info. Yeah, so pause the screen, go have a look at it, guys, okay? And then we come to the last recommendation, and that is Arkadiusz, if I can say that. I'm normally quite good with Polish stuff. Arkadiusz Milik. Okay, so his price is really at a low now for where he is normally in the season when he's kicking on and scoring goals and whatever. So he could be a good position to take advantage of now at Napoli. 27 starts in the league, 8 off the bench, 17 goals, 3 assists is a great return for a striker sub £1. You know, that's a great return. You know, they'll be playing Champions League football next season. And yeah, he's a target man, and the way Ancelotti likes to play and the way Napoli have been using him, you can only see him getting a similar goal tally again next season. And then yeah, there's nothing really article wise. I didn't even bother translating any of this stuff. I'm sure it's just talking about he's looking forward to next season, or he scored a goal or whatever as well, guys. Okay, so that comes to decision time. I already made my decision prior to recording, and you can maybe guess. There's Sari messaging me again. I'll chat to you later, pal. I already made my decision, and that was our boy Reboccio. I just thought 40 pence for the potential he's got. If he goes to Leicester or Watford, he's going to fly off the handle. And even if he goes to a decent club and like Marseille and does well again, then he's somebody who we're quite happy to hold. Okay, I was also tempted, guys, to deposit a bit more money and either top up on some Maxi Gomez or some Declan Rice, but I'm trying to hold the people's portfolio in really strong criteria, in the sense that I'm only depositing money I think I would probably be gambling. I did deposit £20 and 82 pence. I had 18 pence in the balance there, to just round up, buying 50 Robocho sort of thing. You can see it there, 20, 82. But yeah, £20. African Cup of Nations is starting in a couple of days, and there's some Euros on, and I thought, yeah, 20 quid is reasonable enough. I don't want to go OTT. This is to replace traditional gambling, guys. That's my angle across the full channel, not just this series, but I want this series to be very regimented in that respect, you know, so you can see how quickly we've built up a portfolio just by taking the money we would have put on accumulators into this sort of setup. And even already, guys, episode 5, we've already got a portfolio that's basically worth £300, you know, in 5 weeks time. So I know some of you might look at Index and go, oh, well, I've not got thousands to drop into it, and it takes a while to get you going and whatever as well. But as you can see already, and I'm really forward planning. I know how the portfolio is going to move, right? But even if you look at it right now, in 5 weeks we've got a £300 portfolio, and we've got some great positions there, and some of them are not performing anywhere near as well as they should and will as time progresses, guys. Okay, please get the comment. And this video's been on a tad longer than I'd have liked, but I love to give the fullest explanation with some things as I can, guys. But get the comments down on the video for next week's episode, guys. I am very excited to see who you come up with for next week. The suggestions, guys, get better and better and better every single week. The watch list, the people's watch list, has vanished, guys. Okay, I tweeted Football Index customer service, and they have responded to the people, and they are going to get back to us to see if they can fix it. Okay, because what I've been doing is watch listing every suggestion, and that will become useful to us later on as the portfolio develops. Okay, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. It means so much to me. Get those comments in for next week's suggestions. Like, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.